was high tier music right there.
It was German.
You've been watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or something?
No.
I think I know what song he's trying to imitate here. It's a song that exists and that you hear all the time, but you can't quite name the song. So then you watch this YouTube video that's full of songs that you don't hear all the time, but you don't quite know the name of.
That's every song in existence.
I think it's something with flea in its name, like flea salsa. No, not flea salsa, but something like this.
It was a Spanish flea.
Also,
Might be. No.
You also realize that this is another episode of Radio Rothingham. So
Is it?
everyone on this whole goddamn planet, because everyone on the goddamn planet listens to Radio Rothingham. So yeah, here we are at what is this? Episode 37.
Well, I do listen to it, and I'm almost as big as a planet, so that counts.
Yeah.
Almost as big as planet.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So what you're saying is that the planet Earth is almost smaller than you.
No, it's almost as big as I am.
Yeah. Exactly. You know the Earth is so big and this podcast is so not big. The chances that a person in this podcast will meet each other are so astronomically small that it might not even happen.
Well, that's not entirely true. That's not entirely true because
So many of you are listening to it.
Artrix 2016 happened, and that's when we met. Well, everyone except
I didn't.
Yeah, except for Xaverius.
Why would I meet with people?
Yeah, I know, right? I think the world is gonna be happy, that Xaverius is not meeting people.
Yeah, but the difference with ArtrixCon 2016 was you aren't seeing Moray, so of course we could see you.
I'm not seeing Moray?
Seeing Moray, that's the guy behind No Man's Sky.
So there's no Moray eels hanging around, is that what you're saying?
No, that's his name, Sean Moray.
I don't understand what you're saying.
The developer behind No Man's Sky, yeah.
The guy who ran away and was never seen again.
Exactly, they had like radio silence ever since their release. But now, the Doritos Pope, Geoff Keighley, actually has an interview with him in a week. And then they would talk about everything what went wrong.
Well, I'll tell you what.
So about everything.
No Man's Sky developer said, "Hey, look at this awesome video game with all these features," and then everyone was like, "My God, that looks awesome!" And then they released the game, and everyone was all like, "Where are all those features?
Where is the game?"
And he was like, "I don't know. What gave you the idea that those features would be in the game?" And then the UK advertising authority was like, "Hey guys, you're only supposed to say things that are in your game are in your game. This is illegal," and now they're getting sued.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Like, your advertising media is supposed to be somewhat representative of your product, at least vaguely. I mean, if you go into a supermarket and you walk down the bread aisle and you pick up a loaf of what you expect to be bread, and you go home and you find it's actually bricks, that's wrong.
Unless you live in America, the West is totally normal.
There's supposed to be bread in the bread aisle and bricks in the brick aisle. I mean, doesn't your store have a brick aisle? It doesn't really matter if you have a brick aisle or not. The point is, the sign that says bread is supposed to have bread under it. It's kind
of. Anyways, okay.
No, go ahead. You have a tangent.
Yeah, today I'm going to commit the heinous crime that has been, the League of, I don't know, symbols or whatever, has decreed that Pepe the Frog is a hate symbol.
Oh my God, you're drawing a hate Pepe.
I know.
That was the Anti-Defamation League.
Oh yeah, it's the Anti-Defamation League.
It's against defamation.
It's a very serious organization. That's very serious.
So are they just going to make everything a hate symbol then? Because as soon as it gets into the ears of 4chaners, that all they have to do is put Hitler under a picture, and it automatically becomes Nazi. Everything is going to get the Hitler treatment.
Yeah, the Hillary's campaign symbol, the first thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll have lots of Hillarys combined with Pepe's. And then Hillary's face itself will become a hate symbol.
Yes. Well, I mean, the slogan itself doesn't need much work. I'm with her, I'm Hitler. The same thing.
That is kind of the point. Everything.
What are you doing here?
Artrix invited me just now in the chat.
But we already began.
Yep. I was trying to kick you from the chat.
Stop.
I'll do it anyway.
Stop.
Why don't I have Artrix? Why don't I have rights to kick people from this chat?
Because you don't have powers to kick people off this chat.
Yeah, that's what I was questioning.
Yes.
The lack of my ability.
I said, didn't know you were recording.
No, now you do. We are recording.
You're on
the podcast
now. It's not Friday, obviously, so I understand how you could be confused.
Yeah, and it's not like we are in a call named Radio Rothingham.
Well, as I said, I originally just listened to you, but then Artrix wrote in the chat that I can join.
And then
That's Artrix. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have an Astra, and we've gone to the point where we almost...
Wait. So we don't have Astra. We have Buck instead of Astra, and now we have Sekele. Are you trying to say that one woman is worth 2 men?
Yes. I mean, obviously, according to our new overlords, then, yeah, obviously.
According to feminism, a single woman is worth more than every single man in the entire universe.
And you see, this is why you shouldn't be having people join the call midstream. It completely derails any conversation that was going on.
Go back to your point.
Also, it was me that was like, hey, I'm throwing Pepe mid conversation. It was I. Anyway.
And did you derail that conversation by pulling Sekele in?
Now I'm going to derail the drawing. I'm going to do it.
Now, what was the conversation?
So let's
see. I don't even know.
It's a drawing.
Did we even have conversation?
And there's some rails, and he's completely derailed. Like the track is right here, and it's just laying there. It's not on the track anymore. It's a derailed Pepe meme.
I'm very sad.
You should be. I mean, that Pepe was going places. It was going to be great Pepe. But
feels bad, man.
It feels very bad. Look at them. They're so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I should make it out of frown. So there we go. He's frowning. Oh well, enough of that.
Yeah, but speaking of women being worth 2 men, in the US, in a university, the University of Michigan, a student successfully changed his preferred gender pronoun to His Majesty, and he got through with it. They have legally now to call them His Majesty as gender pronoun, because it's a university that allows people to choose their preferred gender pronouns, so that's what he have to go to. Of course, there's a backlash that people call him a dick and everything, because how dare he, but
it's not his fault. He identifies as a king.
Exactly. I mean, he's just a king in a student's body. It's not his fault he was born like this.
Exactly, he's just playing along with their identity politics.
So basically, I could ask them to call me their Lord and Savior as my gender pronoun.
Yes.
Do it now.
And only if you are a student in the University of Michigan.
Well, I might try it.
Well, you are in university, right? So yeah, you
Yeah.
should totally try and do that. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much obligatory at this point.
But our university isn't run by SJWs.
Oh yeah,
We are Slavic.
you do have a point there, but you should try anyway. Maybe even if it's just ironic, you know, like yeah, I know we don't really do this, but I'm ironically going to ask you to change my pronoun into our Lord and Savior. Just for lols.
You must understand he didn't hit for the thoughts. He was up completely serious about it. You mustn't make fun about people that identify as His Majesty.
Well,
Naturally.
they're not me, so they're by default not right. I mean, only I can be Your Majesty, but I decide not to. I mean, I'm chill like that.
But yeah, of course, the response to his change of his preferred pronoun, of course, is very split. There's like this fraction that approves of this because they say he is in his right to do it, and he says this is smart activism. Meanwhile, the other people say he's a dick.
But
How dare they?
That's sexist.
That's sexism. That's dick shaming.
That's transphobic. That's so transphobic.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
What if he identifies as a penis or as a dick?
Then his name would be Richard.
This is true.
Alright, I can't quite get the silly expression on his face right.
Use your face as a model.
No, my face couldn't possibly get anywhere close to Pepe levels.
Well, you said silly expression.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
You can't. No, you're equating my face to Pepe. That's just wrong. Also, I'm not nearly as white.
All I'm saying is
supremacist.
that your face is a hate symbol.
It's not. I mean, I
You know,
would have been
Artrix-
arrested by now.
Artrix may be a very handsome man, but not even he can compete with the divine beauty that is Pepe.
Alright, I should probably try again. Just
So what is gonna become the next hate symbol?
probably I don't know. Let's see. What kind of memes do we have? So you got Pepe.
Daffy Duck?
Well, Daffy Duck is not. That's not
Jojo
really a
Daffy Duck.
meme.
I mean Jojo Daffy Duck.
There's-
No,
Literally.
that's Daffy Duck in a zoot suit. That's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing hateful. That's awesome.
That's
Very
normal.
50s.
Well, there was a pedo bear meme, but that's been kind of done to death. What else is there?
Chris Hansen?
Maybe.
I mean, SJUs are for legalizing pedophilia after all.
You've got a point there, but this one's got to be one that is a hate symbol, and they wouldn't consider that to be hate, I guess, because they seem to stick up for pedophilia for some weird retarded reason. I mean, if you're getting to the point where you're defending pedophiles and you've gone pretty
The sad thing is that by doing this, they are basically proving the homophobes right. Because some homophobes basically argue that if you legalize homosexuality, you may as well legalize pedophilia. And now you actually see these liberals advocating for the legalization of pedophilia. They literally are proving their enemies right.
more or less. You gotta be, if we're gonna be tolerant towards the gays, then we should also be tolerant towards the pedophiles and every other sick thing out there, because they're all only human.
Which is very, very sad. because the gays are actually adults who can consent, who mostly know what they are getting into, while pedophilia, the entire point of pedophilia is that no, they can't make real decisions for themselves. I mean the kids.
Well, that's basic argument. Yes.
And that's why you shouldn't tolerate any people at all.
It's the same reason why we don't tolerate zoophilia, or rather bestiality, because animals can't legally give consent. That and it can lead to spreading of some very nasty diseases.
Like a horse AIDS.
Yeah, or cat AIDS. Really, feline AIDS is a thing.
Well, that sounds particularly terrifying. I wouldn't want to get anywhere near cat AIDS.
And that's why you shouldn't fuck your cat, Artrix.
No, it's a good thing I don't have one. So
A cat is fine too.
Artrix has to deal with enough diseases right now, like the disease of being Dutch.
That's the height of comedy right there. I am Dutch, therefore. Anyway, you should probably try and find a topic that we can discuss. So
Yeah, speaking of the Netherlands, which is a European country. There's another European country. It's called
Yes.
Sweden,
It
and they are
exists.
gonna reintroduce conscription.
Well,
They
Yeah,
plan to
because
reintroduce it in 2018, and it's
they
for
noticed.
both males and females.
Yes,
Wow.
they noticed they have no people in army whatsoever. It's like you go to the army place and there's no one.
so now they're kind of trying to catch up with everything.
So they were like, we need more army. Huh. How to solve this?
just conscript the the people that are currently living in the Swedens.
Exactly, and now it's and
I mean,
since they
all the new people that came there.
Mhm.
But
Honestly-
Artrix, those are very gentle souls,
Mhm.
and they don't know how to fight. They are, the intelligence of their countries.
of course they know how to fight
All they know is how to do nuclear physics.
Well, yeah.
and how to build furniture.
I mean,
Or not.
the funny thing is, you bring up the Netherlands. We actually never really gotten rid of conscription. So every dude, which is also a fairly interesting thing, every dude over the age of 16 gets a military number, and you're technically in the military.
But you don't get any training.
No, they're basically like, yeah, you're in the army, but you don't get a call of duty unless there's suddenly war and
Yeah.
you have
During
to go
the
and
old
fight.
days, during the old days over here, basically every man had to mandatory do 3 years of military service,
Yep.
which means both training and actual military service.
We had the training thing. Thankfully, they canceled it when I was like 11. I was very happy about it. Because I guess they were like, what are the chances that Germany will ruin the Europe again?
Well, now
Turns
you
out-
have it.
Mhm. Good job.
Yeah, well, my year, like the year that I was born in, because I was going after the year you were born in, so my year was actually the last year that actually got letters, and we had actually to go to an army grounds, and we had got to get checked by doctors and everything if we are actually fit for doing military service. We have like 9 months of mandatory military service too. Of course, it's more training, but still. But yeah, my year was the last one that had to go. So it's basically the people that were 1 year younger than me, they were like, lol.
Well, that's usually the case with that sort of thing. So you were actually conscripted, or did they just, did a medical check and see how fit you were for service, and then they were like, yeah.
Well, I got a letter and I had to go to the check. Basically, they And basically, you always have to do that check, like if you are fit for military service, and
well, they gotta figure out whether you're fit for
Yeah.
service or not.
yeah. But to be fair, in Germany, you still have to check. You could, back when it was a thing, you could actually write a letter and saying you don't want to do military service and you did civilian service. Basically, you wipe old man's asses and everything instead of doing military.
Yep.
Basically, all the work no one else wants to do.
Exactly.
I think a few of my German mates decided to do that. There was a while back, and they were like, I'm not gonna do military service, so I'm just gonna do some volunteer work for the next 6 trillion years.
Yeah.
Except that there was just
Actually, it's just for the 9 months that you would also have the military service.
I did actually do something resembling a military service, but it was no military training, nothing like that, but a lot of office work for the military. Like paperwork, ton of paperwork for the military.
Well, that's something that needs to be done too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does make me wonder what would happen if there's any war and I would have to go to the army. Would it be like, yeah, no way you're gonna fight. You're just gonna, janitor.
Artrix, obviously, you will be conscripted for the intelligence service, and you will be tasked with drawing the Prophet Muhammad.
That would be a very, very interesting job.
And then they would take those pictures and put those in bombs and drop those bombs over the enemy territory.
Or just straight up make propaganda. So it's like making those Walt Disney cartoons of the 1940s, but with whatever conflict you happen to be in.
Yes.
Back when cartoons were still good.
Well, they still are.
Back when cartoons still were allowed to be politically incorrect, those were the times.
Politically incorrect by, having politics in them.
Yeah. Or having stereotypes like
nowadays,
small Asian men with those funny hats. And of course Native Americans.
Well, here's the thing. Oh, go ahead.
Actually, that's something I liked about the movie Sausage Party. They used a ton of stereotypes. Like every single character was a stereotype. And I loved that. They should make more stuff like that.
So that's why people keep telling that Sausage Fest sucked.
Because that they were just not used to having culturally insensitive entertainment anymore.
The entire thing is like
some people from Adult Swim, back from the days when Adult Swim was actually adult. So yeah.
Also, it's gonna
Although one bad thing that can be said about it, apparently the movie had terrible working conditions. Like the director treated his animators like if they were slaves.
To be fair, many movies have bad working conditions. Many cartoon shows have bad working conditions. Many shows have actually bad working conditions, but it just no one tells. Pretty much it stays under wraps. But yeah, then no one cares. But suddenly with this movie, because it suddenly has some politically inappropriate content. So of course the people are gonna dig very deep and suddenly show it. But if you were looking harder, most of the movies actually have issues.
I do remember when they rebooted Doctor Who, and the actor who played Doctor resigned after one season because of how terrible the leadership was.
Exactly.
The ironic thing is, BBC fired those scriptwriters and showrunners, I guess, after he left. So basically, if he stayed, he would have got better working conditions.
But didn't the working conditions get better because he left?
Well,
It might be like
he didn't have to leave. The threat of it was enough, but he decided to proceed with it.
Yes.
A profound silence.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how it works. And there are many other, as you said, there are many other shows that had issues. Of course, some shows had issues, but no one wants to hear about it. They rather want to watch, the 6th season of some certain show and trees. I think how many movies we have? Like the 5th spin-off movie that is completely crap due to our bad management decision, and they don't want to hear anything bad because the showmakers are sacred and they're of course working absolute perfect working conditions.
But Buck, did you buy their toys?
No.
This is the important question.
Speaking of shows, I think you might have already heard of it. Not sure if you talked about it. Cartoon Network is basically canceling by the year 2017, 2018, are canceling most of their original shows. Basically, their only original shows, at least from the ones that are long running, not counting the ones that just premiered, only ones they are currently keeping are Steven Universe and We Bare Bears. Everything else is getting cancelled by the year 2018.
Well, what other shows are around on Cartoon Network?
Well, Adventure Time getting cancelled.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's actually getting. I'm pretty sure it's just getting ended.
Well,
it's getting an end.
Because it's pretty much enough time to kinda still come up with an ending for it.
it was about time it ended actually, because the last season sucked.
Yeah.
It had no steam.
I mean, other shows don't know where to end. For example, like SpongeBob or Simpsons or another show about horses. But yeah.
Well, like
Our show is ending. Clarence is getting cancelled because of the problems with the creator. At least it lasted 2 seasons.
No,
Then
I had the impression that the show went on for much longer. But maybe that's just me.
Then
I once saw a very elaborate graph about shows, and apparently the first 4 seasons is like the prime time for the show to end after the 4th season, the 5th season, and the 5th season is the average status quo-esque stuff that happens to every show sooner or later, when some people just give up on it. And apparently the 7th season is the last point where you can end it with some modicum of grace.
It depends on the show, to be fair.
Well, sort of. I don't have much data myself, as I don't watch much stuff, but I do remember Stargate. They originally ended it with the 6th season, and it should have stayed like that.
Also, Uncle Grandpa is ending.
Yeah.
I barely noticed that exists.
The Amazing World of Gumball is also ending, mostly because the creator is leaving for a different project.
I saw one episode of it, and it was in Arabic.
The production crew basically says that it's better to end the show than keep it around without him as he go down.
It's almost as if they have some common sense. Oh my gosh.
They basically didn't want to pull a
they should be stopped
on the show.
Yeah.
Because
so basically only ones that are staying around are Steven Universe and We Bare Bears. Plus
I'm not so sure about Steven Universe. If they really prolong it to 2018, oh my god.
The show is supposed to have an ending, like an ending is already planned, but right now they don't have yet a point at which they are ending.
Of course not.
Ending will come, but you're not sure when.
Yeah, first now they have to milk their social justice crowd. And the progressive crowd, because they're just so progressive, because
to be fair,
they want to talk about how progressive it is instead of, its actual story.
The real question is, do those people buy merchandise?
To be fair, SJUs kind of turned on the show because the creators don't necessarily agree with their methods.
That's terrible.
Like, how do they dare not to agree with us driving a person to suicide? How dare those shitlords?
Yeah, they're just enabling shitlordiness, but not, you know, not endorsing driving people to suicide. That those fiends.
Yeah. So they are also keeping around the Powerpuff Girls reboot, not sure why. Probably because it only recently started, and they would feel like retards if they immediately cancelled it.
Mm.
Also, they're just premiered Mighty Magiswords, so of course that one.
I've seen one episode of that. It's
Yeah.
a really weird show.
Yeah.
And
Well, the people that work on it are really weird. I can confirm this because I actually know people that work on there.
I
Okay.
mean, it's incredibly fast paced for one thing.
Super fast. 4chan hates it purely based on the pacing.
Mm.
It's
I don't
like
even know.
lightning fast.
I don't even know it, and I already hate it.
Well, yeah, I think you'd hate it, given the kind of show it is and everything it stands for.
But isn't like this a show that you just said by Disney?
No, it's on Cartoon Network.
Okay, I thought
I
it was
think
by
you are-
Disney.
The basic premise is you got these siblings and they have swords and they can magically change into whatever the fuck they want them to be or whatever.
And
So
they
it's
are
like-
warriors for hire.
Yeah. So it's like, I want this sword to be a fishing rod, and then it's a fishing rod. Also, the sword was probably
Sweet.
already a fishing rod to begin with.
And there is also a sword that makes pumpkin zombies.
Yes,
that
that's
was
sensible.
the whole premise of the first episode,
Yeah.
or at least.
So of course this show just premiered, so they are keeping that one around.
Hmm.
And there is the Ben 10 reboot coming soon.
Good.
And I think they indirectly confirmed that Lakewood Plaza Turbo, the pilot, was finally picked up for a full show.
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen that.
That was many words in a sequence that
Yeah,
made no sense.
also, I don't want to sound weird, but so basically, I think 3 shows are ending, so it's not like every show gets cancelled.
Well, not free show, more than free. One.
Yeah,
two-
but
Well, there's a lot of
I
shows
think
that have been
around
going
5
for quite a
stars.
while.
yeah, that's true. But it's not like because you said like many of the shows that just recently started are still going around, so it's not feeling like oh my god, canceling everything.
Well, the number of shows they canceled, as opposed to the number of shows they are keeping and the new ones that are coming, it's kinda unbalanced.
Well, to be fair, it's not nice for the people that actually like the shows that get cancelled, but on the other hand, they can at least devote some resources on new shows that might be
Yeah.
also good.
Yeah, that is very important that these networks keep investing in new shows and new ideas instead of basically pulling a Nickelodeon and just airing the same show over and over and over and over. I mean, Nickelodeon is
Nickelodeon is getting better.
it's getting better, but it's
Yeah.
it has to, because it's been banking on SpongeBob for
Ugh.
years,
Yeah,
almost
well,
decades at this
But yeah,
point.
but I still think didn't they like hire the guy again, the creator of SpongeBob again, and the quality went up of SpongeBob in the
Yeah,
most
but
recent.
it's not going to save the show.
Wow.
And it's not going to save Nickelodeon, because right now they're really suffering from the phenomenon where it was basically the SpongeBob channel, and people just get bored of fucking SpongeBob.
I'm pretty sure they're suffering because they have this problem called Viacom.
Yeah, Viacom are assholes.
No,
Exactly, because
SpongeBob is the
basically
problem.
every other show maker, like of course, like you can have episode on YouTube, you can episode on Dailymotion, but still, if you have clips, they kinda tolerate it as long you are not like completely waving it in front of the faces. Is still alright.
I'm not entirely sure. Where
Yeah,
they're
of
getting
course
at.
they take down episodes like after a few hours. If you like, of course, direct link of the latest episode, but still, I can have the impression, at least with the stuff that isn't from Viacom, that it's kinda easier to find, which might help with popularity because many of the recent successful shows are kinda like they picked it up on YouTube or some other streaming site, and then they decided to watch it because it was good.
So you're essentially saying that that in this day and age, the success of any given network is proportional to the amount of exposure it gets on social media like YouTube.
Yeah. Basically, yes.
Well,
Why would I claim such a ridiculous thing? What do you think of me?
It is free advertising.
Well, it is true that Nickelodeon stuff is ridiculously hard to find on the YouTubes, even if you
Not
just
to
want to see
mention
like
that-
a clip.
Not to mention that for some time, Nickelodeon would actively cancel all new shows except for SpongeBob and for Fairly Odd Parents. Like, it was a miracle if a new show lasted for 2 seasons.
Well, that is kind of what happened to the Legend of Korra. They were
Yeah.
like, hey,
It's not SpongeBob. Get out.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
not SpongeBob, so well, I guess we already poured millions into the show, so
I mean, honestly, the only reason the Loud House is even staying around is because the premiere was such a huge hit. I mean, within its first week, the show basically beat SpongeBob in the ratings, which may be the only reason why Nickelodeon is treating it with as much respect as they do.
I still don't know what it is.
It's basically a harem anime only done by Americans,
Exactly.
minus the sexual tension.
Well, you
in the
don't know
beginning-
about it.
in the beginning, I was like, nah, this is not a harem anime that's made by Americans. But as the series goes on, it's pretty much a harem anime, but with American. Except that
Actually, if you removed the sexually suggestive elements of a harem anime and made it just
basically
kid
what you
friendly, that this would be the result.
I mean, and there are some legit harem elements in there because in one episode, Billy, what's his face, Lincoln is like, yeah, I have to go to the school dance, and he's got like 4 different girls that he's dating all at the same time.
Five,
amazing.
Nothing wrong with that as long as they don't know each other.
actually 5 the girls. It was 5 girls.
So if you count Ronnie Ann, that would
Well,
technically-
Ronnie Ann is basically the main squeeze.
Just remember, 1 girl per postal code.
So yeah, but the Loud House is having a pretty good run at the moment.
Yeah, but it's still in its first season, so we don't know. Maybe it will just get cancelled after the first season.
No, the
There's a
ratings are too
90%
good for
chance.
that. Because the way Nickelodeon does it usually, they would give a new show, air it, and once the premiere did not do as well, which means did not do as well as SpongeBob, they would just stop advertising the show, play episode rarely, basically put it in a dev slot and then cancel it. But unlike all those other shows, the Loud House actually did not only do as well as SpongeBob, but beat SpongeBob. So they actually treated well.
Oh, yeah.
So what you're saying-
Obviously, they should have given it the Fox treatment. Just start airing it by the 2nd episode and never show the pilot, because that's what Fox sometimes does, like with Firefly.
The Loud House pilot was only released online, but it's only like 5 minutes long.
Oh well, yeah, that doesn't really count. That's not a pilot. That's a test demo.
Also, it appears that in order to be a successful show on the Nickelodeons, you just got to be more successful than SpongeBob.
To be more annoying than SpongeBob.
Yeah. So they had to get all the weapons out, and of course, the weapon of
SpongeBob.
Heron anime is like
The SpongeBob bench test.
exactly.
Just give the audience the impression that they're adored by this big group of girls are like, oh yeah, this guy's so cute. He's also
Could this be a weapon to surpass bronies?
To be fair, Lincoln is a more rounded character than the average harem protagonist.
Rounded.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one of the major criticisms of the Loud House is that Lincoln is a pretty flat character, so that's saying a lot about harem protagonists. Oh no,
Well,
I'm in this house full of girls.
Artrix. It's the exact same like with Twilight, where the main protagonist has the personality of a sheet of paper.
But no. It's not like a sheet of paper because at least you can write something on a piece of paper. So it's more like the stapler. Like you can still kind of bend it to look like to impress your own vision into it. It's a staple. So there's only so much you can do with the staple. You can you can staple some paper with it, and then you can remove it, and you can just sort of bend it. That's it.
And this is basically the same case, except it's for, I guess, guys, not middle-aged moms.
Or teenage girls, depending on where the book happens to be at that moment.
Oh yeah.
Basically, Lincoln would be the piece of paper, while the average harem protagonist would be the staple.
Yes.
Still pretty bland.
But at least
So,
on
yeah.
the paper you can actually draw.
The way you're describing it, this might actually take some of the fan base from the Pony Show.
Well, I don't see it.
I don't know because
Like it would take away those people who just want their cartoon waifu and leave the people who want their cartoon waifu to be a horse.
That a lot of the people on 4chan who hate Steven Universe love Loud House.
Aha.
That is an interesting take on it. It's almost like the Loud House is like the antithesis of Steven Universe. Like
Of the
Steven
other show.
Universe,
It has very little.
like Steven Universe tries to be deep and progressive and weird. And the Loud House is like the most mundane shit ever. It's just the life of some boy in any town USA. He's just going through his day-to-day life. He's just going on dates and just plays around, fucks around a bit, gets into trouble. He's being a little shit at times. With other times he's like, yeah, I've been a shit. Sorry, sister, for being a shit.
So it's like Hey Arnold, but harem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
My God,
just,
that
and-
could actually be a tolerable show.
Yes, and so it's like that, except it's not urban but suburban.
Okay.
So it's like Hey
Terrible
Arnold.
difference.
So it's like Hey Arnold, but it's a harem anime. But it's not a harem anime, and it's in the suburbs.
It's not anime. It's not.
which is already giving it plus 20 points. Also, speaking of Hey Arnold, they want to, I think, reboot or continue the Hey Arnold show. They want to
I heard something.
release the movie, but there comes the twist. Usually, if you have a reboot, you have usually new people working on it, like completely new stuff that didn't have anything to do with the source material. But for the Arnold, exactly, they brought pretty much all the people back that worked on the original.
Gasp.
Yeah.
Well,
So basically, so from what I heard, they want to make a movie. Yeah, they are working on a movie that is basically the one movie that kind of got cancelled. I don't want to, or should I kind of spoil the plot of the movie?
You
Like,
mean
yeah, very much
already
is it.
released the plot of the movie.
That's true. I mean, it's like just a trailer kind of thing that Arnold goes to the jungle to find his parents.
Well, that doesn't like a typical Hey Arnold plot.
Yeah.
But it's not quite like the Wild Thornberries.
they're also teasing
Smashing.
They're all-
Smashing.
I can do dance with my hands.
But yeah, they are also teasing the same treatment for Rock of Modern Life.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I did hear
this
something
is how Nickelodeon could actually
kind of make a
get back.
Just,
Yeah, exactly.
Just by sheer nostalgia, instead of trying something new, just bombard.
Well, to be fair, a good mix of nostalgia and something new is always good.
Well,
of course, you have something.
If they don't fuck it up like New Powerpuff Girls, then that could work.
To be fair, New Powerpuff Girls was a Cartoon Network.
Yes, and probably one highly inspired by. I would almost dare to say Steven Universe, but that would be a bit too stereotypical because.
Oh yeah, but speaking of because we talked about how Steven Universe is trying to be progressive, and Lauter's is kind of antithesis. Like even the Lauter's is kind of progressive, but as you said, it's kind of mundane and not as in your face. Because what's the name of Lincoln's friend, the small boy? Clyde, exactly. Doesn't he have like 2 dads?
Yeah, he does, and they don't make big deal out of it. It's like
exactly.
Hey, my parents are here, and
this just exists. Done.
No one cares.
Exactly, and if they do it like this, then it's like I honestly don't see any issue with it because it's like.
Well, that's how you see it's not a feminist show because it doesn't,
constantly hammer this shit down your throat.
Exactly, it doesn't concentrate on the fact there's 2 dads every single living second they are on the screen.
To be fair, neither does Steven Universe for the most time.
Now the lesbian subtext is pretty much inserted by everyone on the planet except for the writers of the show. Everyone's like, yeah, these gems are totally homo, and
that's gay.
That's pretty gay, man. But yeah, that's kind of the point. And Lida's like, hey, parents are here. And I mean, they could have easily gone the route of making an entire episode where one of the sisters like shocked to find out that Clyde's parents are, a gay couple. And there's like this Aesop about, yeah, you should respect everyone, blah blah blah, and it would be the most condescending episode on the planet.
Yeah, and I honestly like they just exist, and it's like no one pretty much cares how to say. Of course they exist, and that's how it should be. That's actually the goal. Like those people should be striving for. Like they just live normally, but I often get the impression like they just want to be like applauded. Like, oh my God, you are gay. You are so progressive. You are awesome.
Here's your trophies in the mail.
Exactly.
That's basically the special snowflakes.
Exactly, and it's kind of the impression that I get from this kind of people, that they pretty much want this, like they want to be celebrated as the greatest beings on earth. But
honestly, I kind of think if conservatism was hip, these people would dress in white sheets and burn crosses, only to be hip.
Obviously.
Well, yeah. I may sound like an old fact right now, but I actually went through time. And it was kind of the case.
In my day, we didn't even have white sheets. We had to take yellow ones and bleach them.
Well, not exactly like that. It's more like, there was the 2000s, and
oh god,
2000s
ancient time.
Yes, that's already ancient time by now. Anyways, so back in the 2000s. You had the Bush administration, and it was really, really cool to be conservative and patriotic, and you didn't give a shit about the rest of the world because you were America.
Yeah, even Artrix was America, and he wasn't even in America.
I was in America at some point. It was pretty cool. And this was during the heyday of conservatism. was, it was pretty. You just didn't really talk about it. You just went there and did fun, silly stuff, like I don't know, going to a theme park. That's pretty silly, I guess. Like, hey, I'm in America. What do you do when you're in America? Well, I guess we should go to a theme park. And then
The absolute madman.
I was also kind of disappointed. I went there, I expected all the really crazy roller coasters and everything, but it was just the same shit you have over here. So either I went to the wrong theme park, or
You went to the Dutch theme park.
yes, so they built a Dutch theme park specifically to troll me. Like, you just build an entire U.S. economy, and
Just
then,
to troll Artrix.
yeah, just to troll this one guy that's coming over. Like, you've been had. Oh.
Yeah. And then the economic crisis came, and they were like, worth it.
Yep. Our entire economy crashed, but at least we trolled one guy, so it was totally worth it. Speaking of animation,
No.
last episode I did say
I'm very animated.
Yeah, last episode we briefly mentioned the movie.
Artrix doesn't remember the movie.
No,
So it's not
because-
important.
No,
Kubo?
it's not important. That's Kumo. Kubo. That's the name.
Kumo.
Yeah,
That
Kubo.
no.
It's a pretty cool movie. Go see it. That's the
No.
end of my review.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie. Already saw it. Too bad it's doing very shitty in the box office.
That's a sad thing about this movie. Like, it is definitely one of the most underappreciated movies of the current year. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, go see it, and at least
Also, while not even nearly as good as Kubo, just saw Storks yesterday. It was fine.
I reckon it would be something like that.
It was actually the closest thing we got currently to a classical Looney Tunes thing.
They really nailed the squash and stretch thing in that movie.
What?
They really nailed the stretch and squash thing in that movie. Like,
Yeah, it's basically classic old school slapstick.
Mhm.
Also, they made me ship a bird with a human.
Right. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah,
But
it
I'm
was.
sure- but I'm sure it was funny in hindsight.
Yeah.
But speaking of terrifying things,
Oh no, I'm already terrified. Go ahead.
Yeah.
first off, the important things. Since we don't have any Astra today, we can't have any Astra time. So I suggest we replace it with ZenX Annunciate time.
Okay.
So, there is ZenX Annunciate time. And the answer is no. Okay, is ZenX Announce time over? And also in other Nintendo news, Shigeru Miyamoto recently was asked what is the age of Mario. Like, this the very well-known video game character Mario.
Yeah.
Shigeru Miyamoto has said like 24, 25.
He
It's the
doesn't
age of Mario.
really strike me as being 25, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he is.
He's
You
at
know,
least
for the
26.
for the Japanese people, like if you are already in your 20s, you are basically decomposing. You are already pretty much old.
I
It
don't
kinda
know about
reminds-
that. I mean, well, okay, maybe it's differently for Japanese men, but Japanese women, and especially, it could be said about all Asian women. They're like, hey, I'm 16. And then they're like, hey, I'm 25. And you're like, I don't see a lick of difference between these two people. They look exactly the fucking same. But then, native Japanese person's like, no, look completely different.
Yeah, but you
Also,
honestly
before,
should
racism.
You honestly should check out like some image edits of Mario where his mustache is like chopped away, and it pretty much
It's
they're not
terrifying.
too wrong. It's terrifying, but it's not too wrong. The age kinda would fit with this. It's like having this mustache makes him look older than he actually is.
Well, maybe that's why all the hipster
I don't know.
fucks grow beards and mustaches to hide their true
Of course.
age. They're like, look at me, I'm so old and wise. No, you're just 20-something that thinks it's
They
cool to
are
grow
they are
fucking
also
mustache.
too clumsy to shave properly.
Probably. And
there are other benefits of having a beard.
Yeah,
Well,
you can
because
you
you
can
look older, and like in the store, people want the cashier want to know you about your ideas often.
and you can keep bees in the beard. Also, if you sit at the corner, people just start throwing money at you.
Exactly.
especially if you combine it with the typical hipster gear, which is basically the equivalent
No
of
shoes,
some-
for example.
Yeah, no shoes, and the really old vintage shirt, which will easily be mistaken for something a hobo would wear. It's like, oh, it's a homeless guy. Better give him money. Then you get all the monies. Oh my god.
Yeah, he looks very young without.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, it does look pretty terrifying.
Told you.
Alright.
Honestly,
But yeah, you would pretty much agree he kind of looks. And I have an even more terrifying image. It might scar you for life.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Is it by any chance the picture of Peach without the makeup? No.
No, it's still Mario. I'm not gonna share any pictures of
God,
Peach.
It does look silly. Yeah, that last one definitely does look like a 20-something.
He kinda looks like Elmer Fudd with hair.
Hmm.
He looks like Wreck-It Ralph.
His name is Fix-It Felix, actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
but yeah, actually, you are
meant
not
the-
wrong.
I meant the big guy, not the small guy.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even know what the small guy looks like.
He looks like Mario, but without mustache and has a blue hat.
A blue head? That's racist.
Mm.
Next time you're gonna claim that he's like a blue collar worker. And they're most likely Trump supporters, so obviously they're evil.
That actually makes them noble and badass.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of Wreck-It Ralph, you know that I don't know, 2017 or 2018, there's Wreck-It Ralph 2 happening.
Of course there is. There's a sequel for just about any popular Pixar movie. I think there's
Well, to be fair, people weren't too sure if Wreck-It Ralph was popular enough to actually get a sequel.
For some reason,
This is true.
Tangled is not getting a sequel, but they are getting an animated series.
Oh.
Gee, I wonder why.
Why?
Honestly, I don't know what. I mean, Ratatouille was a pretty self-contained story. It's like, yeah, I'm fucking rat and I make food in a fancy French restaurant. In other words, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. Okay, that was kind of mean, but yeah,
It's reality.
that movie was pretty much just done. Like I said, it's a pretty self-contained story. I don't really see how that could justify entire animated series.
We had animated movies for The Lion King, animated series for Lion King, which
That
was
was
of course about Timon and Pumbaa and Aladdin and
Yeah,
many of
and
those
they
actually.
didn't
Hercules.
make a lack of sense.
By the way, they made a second animated Lion King series.
Yep, it's
What?
I know.
apparently kind of good.
And
Oh,
it gets well, I'm gonna let you finish first, but I got some very disturbing news for you, but I'm gonna let you finish first.
But the thing about the Lion King is okay. It was the new series that they made is apparently pretty good. I haven't really watched it myself for some reason.
It basically takes place between the first and second movie, and it follows. Well, it fills one plot hole that they basically had, because when they show Simba's child at the end of the first movie, all of the material, like promotional material attached to the movie, said that Simba had a son. But in the second movie, he has a daughter.
Dun, dun,
Well,
dun.
I
Now
wonder
this-
why.
Well, now this show that takes place between the first and second movie follows Simba's son, and it explains that his son could not become king, which is why his daughter later was like groomed to be the new leader, and this one could not become king because he was chosen to be like the lion guard, which is basically the animal equivalent of not sure of what, of the United Nations or something, like a
Right.
diplomat with all animals.
Okay.
And basically it chronicles his adventures.
Okay, that sounds even more retarded than the fact there's a second movie.
Yeah.
There was even a third one.
I know.
Wouldn't it be just easy to be like, yeah, the first son, he died because high infant mortality rates in the animal
Yeah,
kingdom.
but
Or-
you can't do
like-
that in a
This is
child's imagine. But yeah, speaking of death, they're actually gonna make I think reboot of The Lion King in 2018.
Well, like they make of every single other Disney movie.
It was basically like that Jungle Book done as a live action movie, so no, they want to make
Although I do
The Lion
want-
King as no, they don't want to. They're actually going to make The Lion King as a live action movie.
I do wonder how they will achieve that. Because there were like no humans in The Lion King at all.
It's
Basically,
gonna be CGI.
It would basically either be a fully CGI movie, in which case it is not live action, or they are going to use like a shit ton of trained animals, which would be at this point very expensive.
Yeah.
Or they could try something else, and they could actually make a adaptation of the same movie but with humans.
Which would then be the entire point.
Wouldn't you just end up with Hamlet?
Yeah, basically.
And Hamlet was a terrible character.
So
He was fun. He drove people to suicide and murdered people.
Well, that was the okay part, but then he was like, should I kill the dude who killed my father who I swore to revenge or not? And
Yeah,
then he spent the
especially after all the stuff he did to get to the point of killing him.
yeah. And then he got poisoned, and then he killed the dude without thinking. He was like, okay, oh, I'm poisoned. Well, I guess I should kill him now before I die. Fucking Hamlet.
Changes the perspective.
Yeah.
Also, apparently JoJo just got a new opening.
Yay?
How many openings does it have by now?
At this point, 7.
That's a lot of openings.
And this is the third opening for part 4.
How many seasons does it have? Like,
Well, technically, if you count the story arcs of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, currently it's at the 8th arc.
Ah,
And
so it needs one more opening.
Well, no, the anime is currently adapting the 4th arc, but the 4th arc has currently 3 openings.
Okay.
The first
Okay.
2 arcs had 1 opening each. The third arc had 2 openings, and now the 4th arc has 3 openings.
Oh, so the next arc will have 5 openings and so on. Wait, 4. You said 3, not 4.
Probably.
Yeah, but it's still basically, I think, like one arc has like about 26 episodes, right?
Yeah.
So basically, they're having 3 openings in that time. Okay, that's very. I suppose the animators are on a roll and are like,
That's
okay,
a-
let's make more openings.
That's a new opening every 8 episodes. Works with me.
because we need to have that consistency, I guess.
Yes. You
Well,
need
to be fair, it's JoJo. They can.
you need to open your show very well, Artrix.
At least they can do really much wrong with the show itself because they don't really need to think of a story, so they have more resources than
Yeah,
than
they basically just adapt the manga.
Yeah. And that's the only thing they should do, because...
And the manga currently has 20 years worth of content.
20 years of men posing at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one smug Pepe the Frog.
Okay.
Praise Kek.
He's like, sure.
It does look like a Rayman character, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's perfect for Rayman physics.
Speaking of Rayman, no,
Rayman.
We have even more news.
More Raymans.
You know, Rayman is made by published by Ubisoft.
Yes.
And Michel Ansel works at Ubisoft.
Yes.
And he put up a teaser picture on his Instagram.
He is also extremely insane.
Well, we know that he's French, so that's a given. But
he made Rayman.
Yeah, exactly that too. But he teased something, and it's of course it's a guy, and he has a young dressed pig on his back. And people are wondering what might he tease at?
I don't know.
No, I mean, was there any franchise or anything from Ubisoft that had like a big anthropomorphic pig or something?
No,
I don't think so.
I see what you're getting at. Couldn't be the show with the women's and the reporters that
and aliens. Wait, what aliens? What I'm talking about? I don't know anything about this.
No, don't be ridiculous.
It's one of your favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
Games? I don't play games.
Yeah, but also people expected that they will reveal what the teaser was for during, I think it was yesterday's Ubisoft press conference, because they had like an investor briefing. So they thought they would announce it there, but since there aren't, people are speculating that Nintendo went out on a purchasing spree again, and they might have another Bayonetta 2 situation with Ubisoft franchise.
Yeah, the thing about Ansel and Beyond Good and Evil is a very complicated story. Basically, Ubisoft was like, you know what, you are a crazy man who gave us much money, do what you want on the side. Then he did what he wanted on the side, and it took him many years. And then he left Ubisoft and made his own studio.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where we are now.
But
so I don't even know who has the rights to that game. Probably Ubisoft.
I'm pretty sure it can be sorted out. I mean, they sorted it out for the how it's called, the game System Shock remake.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was in a limbo for years, and they got it sorted out.
That was actually pretty nice, because System Shock is one of those ancient games with rights that don't even belong to anything that's remotely close to a developing company.
The best part is it's basically a 1-to-1 remake. It's basically the exactly same game, just with an update in engine and
It's not the same game. It's like if you took the advanced edition. What was it? The one that added mouse support.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's maybe the best thing to just to release the same game one.
And in this
just
case,
not.
In this case, it's the absolutely best thing. Also, there's somebody else who's attempting their own remake of the game. At the same time, I don't know what that's gonna be on.
You mean Project Looking Glass?
Maybe. I don't remember names.
But yeah, I for one wouldn't mind another Beyond Good and Evils.
Mm.
It's not like it's been teased for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm pretty sure it wasn't teased. So yeah.
It was constantly teased.
That trailer,
Back
was
in
pretty
2005.
obvious. Exactly. That's been.
Okay, I take it. I stand corrected. Back in 2005, I didn't care as much, but still, now we get at least something solidifying.
Well, yeah,
Some
we
sort of hints that-
And also we had
thought that when we got the trailer. It's
and we
just,
also had Yves Guillemot, who is the CEO of Ubisoft, saying
yes.
that we should be excited for the NX, even though it most likely doesn't mean much. But usually, people say like, at least for the Wii U, they said if they have good games, we will publish games on it. But this time they say we should be excited for it. But
yeah, I'm skeptical because they kind of
Too.
did the same thing with the Wii U. They're like, yeah, the Wii U is gonna be our main console. It's gonna be fucking great. And like, look
Well,
at
it
this,
was
it's got
great.
exclusives and shit.
Yeah.
And then 20 seconds later, like, nope, all dropped because
Then
yeah,
we
that's true.
Honestly, it was a pretty good console.
which one?
The Wii U.
The thing about the Wii U is that it had some good games on it, but the console itself is not particularly good.
The biggest problem with the Wii U, from what I heard, is firstly, of course, they were pretty much telling the developers that, like, I think, like the final
Fantasy.
console is actually weaker than the dev kits a bit because they had to downclock the CPU a bit because of consumption.
That's usually what happens because dev kits are over-dimensioned because
No,
they need to
yeah,
develop
that's-
the stuff and
Yeah,
they don't know if it works, so they need some overhead. And they're
Yeah,
like, okay, we managed this. We managed to fix this, so it works on a toaster. Now
Now we gotta make it work on the actual toaster.
No, that's the thing. At first, they just make it work on the dev kit, and then they downsize it so it
Yeah.
works on the toasters.
yeah,
and the
but
toasters
usually
go into those-
but usually the cases, like at least with the most recent consoles, that went by Nintendo, it's like usually the final versions were still a bit faster than the dev kits because the dev kits didn't have the final specs and they were actually weaker, and they were like even the developer said when during the PlayStation 4 reveal conference, they were like 8 gigabytes of GDG, this fast RAM. The developers were even surprised because I think the dev kits has still like 4 total of RAM, and suddenly it's doubled.
Poor developers.
Of course, so they were of course happy, and basically the case is like if you don't. And also the other problem was, of course, the final retail version was weaker than the dev kit, so that's why also some of the launch games kinda run poorly. The second problem is the name and the marketing. It's like even I would consider myself a kinda gamer kind of type.
You're in the loop.
Yeah, kinda, but exactly. I mean, the loop, and even I was confused when they announced it. Is it just like an add-on for the Wii or what? And then actually had to read up later on that's actually a completely new console. Because I also was thinking like, because they used all those Wii modes and everything, and pretty much the games were looking like on the Wii. At the example games, I was thinking just like an add-on for the Wii.
My very initial reaction was the same thing until they mentioned that it was going to be an HD console, and then it was pretty damn obvious that it was going to be a completely new system. But
Yeah, but still the name was kinda, even Wii 2 would be way more clear than Wii U.
yeah, and like from the very first publications, they really were focusing an awful lot on that gamepad to the point where they just sort of shoved the actual console in the background. They were constantly showcasing the gamepad, and then some in the background you can see, oh wait, there's this weird looking console hooked up to the TV. Can we see the console? No, you have to look at the goddamn gamepad. Look at the gamepad. Look at it. Look at Morty. Look at the gamepad.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Of course,
No.
the console is just a box, but still, as long they don't see any real exciting games for it, they kind of want to see like how the console looks, because with the PS4, with the Xbox One, they still showed off how they looked. Look, this is the thing you need to be looking for in the stores. This is how it looks.
Well, yeah, it's it's all about what's inside, but you want to see, you want to know what the freaking box looks like. It does tell you a bunch of things about the actual console, how it works and whatnot.
And that's the thing, they kind of need to understand, of course, they want to appeal to more the family crowd, not the same, because they don't want to be competing in the same market that PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are, because, let's be honest, they don't have any chance over there. But they still shouldn't be kind of treating the former fans like
they
with
kind of
disrespect.
have to, though. That is kind of the problem with the Wii U, and Nintendo in general. They need that third-party support to stay alive, basically, because someone who isn't that invested in Nintendo wants a console where they can play the amazing first-party games, but they also want to play third-party, and currently Nintendo does not offer that at all. So they kind of
Nintendo.
At this point, yes. There used to be
but to be fair, most of the third-party games that are on all the consoles have like usually a PC version too. It's like pretty much every game, even like it's very hard to find like a third-party game that isn't on PC. I mean, of this generation, like last generation, yeah, there were a few exceptions, but this generation, pretty much every game, every big franchise is also getting a PC release on Steam at least.
Except for the Nintendo ones.
Yeah, I said third-party games, not first-party. Because first-party, of course, it's first-party because they want this as incentive to get the console.
But honestly, most of the so-called Xbox exclusives eventually end up on PC as well. Because
well, they are on the PC right now, but the issue is they are they are on this weird store.
The issue with Xbox exclusive is they are exclusives, even though they are on Windows, because Store, yes, and with the more modern games, DirectX 12, which Microsoft could patch, backwards into Windows 7, except they are not going to do that because they had the store, and apparently
but it gets better. Even if you have Windows 10 installed, you have to use the Windows Universal Windows platform to download the games. And even though you have DirectX 12, which is supposed to be faster, like for example, if you download Forza Horizon 3, it's actually so encrypted that it has to be decrypted while the game is running. So even if you have a high-end rig, the game is stuttering.
And it
fucking George.
It also slowly kills all SSD and stuff.
Yeah.
And just in case you want to, go into the folder with the game and look what is there, nope. It's just a lot of folders with jumbled up names full of random characters because decryption.
And also, since we are speaking of games on PC, there was a recent Street Fighter 5 update, and if you started the game, it installed something, and this could get funny in the following weeks. The Street Fighter 5 update actually installed a rootkit on the PCs.
Nice.
It's confirmed actual rootkit that you have to do a lot of effort to actually remove the rootkit because they were so concerned about protecting the in-game transactions that that people can't do get them, like mod them in for free or something, that they actually installed a rootkit so that people couldn't tamper with the game. And now they released a statement officially by Capcom that it happened accidentally, and we don't know how it happened. Because you accidentally wrote a rootkit based on actual malware. You actually wrote a complete rootkit, accidentally put it into the update, and accidentally, willingly put it on all the people's PCs that had it. Started the update.
Yes, that sounds like the right course of action.
Yeah, of course, all accidentally. And they don't know how it could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like in the past accidental DRM was a bad thing.
Yeah.
No, nothing like that. No.
We accidentally the DRM.
Yeah, but
Just-
this goes.
completely denied the access to the game and half of your computer.
Yeah, but the thing about the EM, it's still, it's annoying, of course, and it's still bad, I think. But the thing about this move is it's an actual rootkit, actual malware code. I could actually confirm it's pretty much malware, because most of the like antivirus software actually was saying you have malware on your PC.
Yeah, because
So there might be a nice
it did the
wave,
same. It did the
soon.
same stuff. It did the same routines as the usual kids have.
Exactly.
But just like they didn't bother making their official stamp on it. No, just do the same thing that malicious stuff does, and it'll be okay. It's in a game, except no.
No, it was a rootkit to get all the access to, because they want to make sure that people couldn't do anything with tamper with the game to protect its online mode and everything.
Which is silly because if you want to protect your online stuff, then you have to start at your servers, not your game.
Exactly, and
at
they
the
rather
people's
wanted to,
computers.
exactly, and they didn't want to bother do it server side, so they were like,
Wow.
let's install rootkits.
They are kind of doing the same thing that Windows 10 is doing with their send with their I don't know what it's
telemetry.
called. No, not telemetry. The new format of their programs, basically, the one where you don't have the Win32 combined application anymore. You have that new format.
Yeah, UVP pretty much.
Yes, that.
Or games for Windows Live Mark II.
Oh, yes, the store and interconnectedness with it, where you can't even run a game from this folder because you have nothing to run it with. You have to go to the panel and run it from there.
Mm.
And there were voices that this is a normal thing to happen on Macs and on Linux. Well, might be, but the thing is, for the past 2 decades that Windows exists, it was not the case on Windows. That's the main difference here. It existed on Mac all the time, but it didn't exist on Windows. And that's why people are pissed. It's easy.
And that's how you win the prize.
Yes. I mean, everybody understands that. It's so simple that everybody can understand it except for the CEOs.
Well, yeah, but the CEOs are probably the kind of people that believe that the internet is a series of tubes. So
Yeah.
This is possible.
Usually CEOs aren't the people that have any actual idea about the technology itself. They just care about the numbers.
Yep, that they're like playing this simulator game, and they just want the numbers to go up. In this case, it's money. It's like, yeah, this money variable needs to be as high as fucking possible, and then everyone's like, okay. And then they run the company into the ground, and everyone's unhappy. Actually, there are, CEOs that companies tend to not like because they do that. They kind of run the country into the ground as they try to maximize profit to the point where it hurts everything and everyone, including, long-term prospects. It's like, it's nice, that you quadruple our profits, but, we are
Everybody quit.
Yeah, everyone quit.
I don't think that the investors care about it. As long profits are there, they don't really care if the whole company dies, as long as there are still the profits. That's kind of the problem.
Except that when you have a company that makes profit for forever and it's then being killed by temporarily. It's like you have this nice fire going, and then you just add a big can of gasoline to it, and everything explodes. So very shortly, for a very short amount of time, you have a lot of heat, a lot of light and shit, and then it's all gone. So yeah, you had of course, the one guy that really likes big flashing lights, he's gonna be satisfied. But that's okay, because the thing is about the investors, like, they're gonna make
they all think about short-term profits. I don't think many people think about long-term profits, like
No,
a long-term plans. They just want to see short-term profits because the investors are like, okay, gonna give you like 2 million, and I expect to see it back in the next quarter, and I will want the money to double. Just like exaggeration, and pretty much that's what they want. What happens after that, they don't really care. They just pretty much that's what's happening. They just want to see the money. What?
So say you invest $1 million into a company, right?
Yeah.
And then it makes a shit ton of profit. So you make like 600 grand in a month. You're like, sweet. At this rate, I'll be rich. But then the company explodes because it burned itself to the ground. And then you're like, oh, I made $600,000. And the company's gone now, even though it was making a buttload of money. So yeah, that investor's not gonna be happy because it's like, oh.
I'm pretty sure those investors are spread around multiple companies, and they pretty much know if this one company blows up after giving them money, because they only care as long as they get money, it's fine. But if the investors after them, like that invested after them, are getting the short end of the stick, they don't really care. They just want their profits, and as long as those are right, it's good.
Basically everyone in the goddamn economy thinks like that. But if
that's kind of the problem.
To the ground, then there's going to be a lot of discontent people. And
we have even an extreme example of this right now in Magic the Gathering. It's a card game, beloved by nerds. Right now, like every year, it's like growing and growing and growing. Of course, Hasbro and the investors see this, and they have to kind of keep up this growth because they're kind of forced to grow. Basically, they're coming
Isn't
up
that
with.
Why they added the stupid shit like Planeswalkers?
Yeah, that's about the time it actually started to take off. But like in the last year, they had like a set where he had like a 1 in 144 booster chance to pull one of those extremely rare lands that were like, I don't know, about 100 to 200 quid depending which one you pulled.
Is it a shiny land?
Exactly, and yeah, pretty much. And then the set sold a lot, and then this year they figured out, oh, this last year set sold a lot. How are we gonna top it? Oh, let's just make this permanent, because this was like a one-time thing where you got those rare pulls because there was kind of like some kind of treasure fitting to the setting of the set, and now they're like, yes, we're making permanent. So you have basically a lottery ticket now. With every booster has a lottery ticket where you can pull a card that's worth $100 or more or less. Basically, they are kind of getting forced by Hasbro itself to keep growing. And that's kind of a problem, because now the actual game is eventually going to suffer from it, and yeah.
Okay, this thumbnail's amazing.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Pepe the 4 is amazing. What's also amazing is the outro music. It's gonna play. I'm playing it. It's playing now.
Did it explode? Did it explode?
No.
Explode.
The software actually works.
That's
Like
weird.
I'm
last time when
terrified.
it shouldn't.
It shouldn't do that. It shouldn't work.
It's not even crashing.
It's not even plugged in.
It's not even doing all the stuff it usually does. It just works. I'm scared.
Blame Pepe.
Yeah, it's Pepe the Frog.
Yeah,
since
Pepe.
he is
That's his fault.
If
Superman-ish.
If we're calling
Symbol.
Pepe, why don't we call memes memes?
Yeah, the Pepe the Meme is here to tell you that this is the end of the episode. Oh, it crashed. I was worried.
Finally!
Praise Kek.
Good job, Soulfare. So yeah, thank you for watching, I guess.
I don't thank you. Thank yourself.
Yeah, thank yourself for watching.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.
Goodbye, good night.
Also, like, subscribe, favorite,
Dislike.
do those both, and don't forget to post all the Pepes everywhere, because the world Can never have enough Pepes.
And down with Hillary.
Or up, depending on your orientation.
Alternatively, we could call Pepe's peeps.
Yes. Pepe peeps. That are shit posting all over the place with their amazing Pepes. So, yeah. Kennigsbye.